The only question I have is the splash pad. I'll have to create a new account and expense if they want us to take care of the money. And it'll just be designated splash pad.
Right.
That way, that money goes in there and we'll have an expense against it for park. So I will have to create those, but I don't know, and we can't really put a budget on it. All I'm gonna do is create the accounts as the revenue comes in or the expense goes out. It will coincide. So in other words, we can't pay CEDA unless we have that revenue of $2,500 in there. So that shouldn't affect the budget because it's gonna cross itself out. And we can't really make a plan for that anyway, we can't like budget for it.
Right, till they have it and
Right.
everything is set.
Once we get the grant set, then we can like fix it, so it works.
Mm-hmm.
That was my idea. Unless you guys want me to change it, we could throw some money, dollars out there, but it sounds like we've gotta raise the money first before we can even think about putting the budget together. So it should just be there, but it'll be.
So I think the reason that they had to partner with the city in the first place is so they could use our 501(c) designation. So the people that donate to the splash pad can take a tax write-off.
Right.
So you might want to think about how that goes into
Yeah.
whatever account. And if that will, you know, I'm just saying, because I think that's the whole reason, because they asked the JCIA to use our 501(c), and if we didn't allow them, then they were going to go to ask the KJ7, but the city agreed, so I'm not sure how that works into things, but I think that's why. I mean, does the city have, we have a 501(c), right? Like,
I believe so.
so we can get grants and things, otherwise if we didn't, yeah, Eric, do you know?
So, if you donate stuff to the school district, they write you a receipt, and the way they, for whatever, I don't know the reason why they do this, but you fill in the amount, the person who does the donating, and then you can use that to take it off your taxes. That's my experience.
Yeah, so Bonnie, I think if your group could create those receipts for people, as long as the money's going into a 50, you know, the city's 501(c) or whatever. You might get more money now, I don't know, but I think you get grants.
Yeah, and that's a good thing to let Lisa and Casey know.
Yeah, but to accept a grant, it has to go into a 501(c). That's why the city will accept a grant. Right.
Good to know, good to know.
Well, I move to adopt the tentative budget fiscal year 2023. Did you see anything did you see anything?
I had questions about the park budget, and $7,500 for Norwood, essentially, I don't know.
Is it still on there?
I thought she changed all that.
Did you change that one?
Change what?
The park budget, did it stay the same?
For,
The fee raise, or the raise in price for the park? For the budget?
the park,
Oh,
did you want the capital outlay, what are you talking about?
Equipment repairs, I think is what he's talking about, and I see it's at 2,500.
yeah. What page is that on?
Is that what you're talking, page 3?
Yes, I raised that to 25.
And it was, I thought, just
Did we want to go back down to 5?
Well, I thought it was,
Overall, it was 75, right, initially?
yeah, I thought it was higher, that's why I thought we lowered that. I didn't write down any notes on that, I think I did. Did you, Wendy?
No. I do remember talking about it. I was gonna go back into the other one. Yeah, because it was up to 6 and we had 45 before.
So now we're at 5 versus 6, right?
Is it just for the maintenance, Mark? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, well, I think the overall budget went up to 7,500, and there was maintenance, and I don't have it for me.
Go back into your budget from last, when she emailed us 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, all I wrote down here was just to change this down, back down to 4,500 for that.
What number is that?
That's park maintenance, 1090,452.
Yeah, I see 4,500.
And I think we kept equipment repairs just because,
We lowered the equipment repairs a little bit.
right,
Yeah, we did. That
But it
was,
somebody trying to, or else.
No, this is what I don't have it for me.
Oh,
I was like, what's going on?
also to the audit, so accounting fees. I talked to Tony, right now, next year, more than likely, we're gonna do over 750,000 on wastewater, so we'll probably have a single audit next year, but we won't have one this year.
And you have it budgeted in there, then, is that
Yes.
what you're telling us, that's why
Yes.
you left it in there?
Yes, but I also
Right.
forward you that email, all of you guys, so.
Seemed like there was something else, but I don't remember what it was.
I just have notes about the equipment rental, and then we were moving the truck budget to capital outlay,
Yeah.
and the sludge, and the sludge disposal.
And that all got changed? Did you look on it?
I didn't look at the sludge disposal to see if it was 4,000 still, or if it went up, because we were talking about going up with the sludge disposal. Have you, well, I'll talk about that later.
They called. And then
They called.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's, it works.
Good. So I think sludge disposal is at the bottom. We did increase sludge disposal, correct?
Hold on, okay.
I'm not seeing it. The other one was at the bottom page.
There it is. Current year was 13,000, so we lowered it to 4,000.
I thought we talked about increasing that back up because we can't be getting it for free. Didn't we talk about raising that because?
No, because we were trying, I had put it up because we had talked about the fact that we didn't have a truck to haul it. But hopefully we'll get that dump truck.
Right, but we still can't haul it to the place for free. They're gonna start charging us because they won't accept
We
it.
always got charged.
Yeah, they'll still charge us, even though we have the dump truck.
But
They'll charge
you're
us
gonna
per
be,
load.
right, but I thought that we hadn't, because you talked about hauling it to a Soden.
Correct.
So we're gonna haul, we can haul it from Moscow, but we need to find out what those fees are for inert demolition, because if they're not gonna accept it as compost, then that's a different fee structure. So that's why I thought we were going to increase that a little bit. We should probably call and get some fees on inert, or talk to, maybe Larry Ross, or just ask some general questions up there and see what they're gonna be charging us per ton to haul that off. 'Cause if they're not,
And that way, if we do that, we can have it as dry as
yeah,
humanly possible.
Yeah, the dryer, the better.
right.
Because they were wanting us to, well, they were wanting us to water it down and weigh it
Yeah,
and charge us to dump it. So it was
Right.
like, why would we water it down? You know, that was ridiculous.
yeah, I think that was something to meet their, or get more money, it's hard to say, but
It's hard to say.
that's why I thought we talked about increasing the sludge disposal a little bit, because we don't know what for sure is gonna happen with
It's a good idea.
going to that.
Yeah, I don't think Bonnie's seen a bill yet.
Dropping that park maintenance from 6 to 45, is that good for you?
Yeah, I'm good.
So then, this is just a tentative, right, so we can still make, like,
Right.
we can get the information about the sludge disposal. You know,
Yes, sir.
so are we good?
Yeah, go for it.
I move to pass the tentative budget fiscal year 2023,
Second.
or adopt tentative budget.
All in favor? Passes.
Yeah, we're ready to go on to review the rates. And these are the same as we've had
What I sent you was last year's, so
last year's.
that's what we're currently charging for things.
And we're not making a decision on anything tonight, just
We're
looking
just
at it.
talking about stuff if you want.
So, I guess we ready to move on then. How about you, Josh? What do you got?
The water plant, the PLC was replaced. Everything is automated now, back to the way it was. Everything's running great, we're all caught up. And we have ample amounts of water coming into the plant right now, so we're not having to run pumps or anything, but the water level is dropping. So I would imagine here before too long, we're gonna have to get the pumps out, but that just happens every year, so. But as far as that, that's all I have.
How about you, Josh?
I have a couple things. Stillman, did you want a platform to speak about the wastewater plant? The funding, or did you already talk to?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that wanted to come from Lonnie and Wendy. I
Oh,
was just
okay.
here to help answer questions.
I won't step on their toes.
Yeah.
Then I got hold of Herco, he's coming tomorrow. He's gonna do a bid on the chip seal. So right now, we're looking at doing the ups and downs. So 4th Street, 3rd Street, 5th Street, around Hallett by the grade school, Hallett.
Well, you gotta do the whole,
Yeah, we're gonna do it, cover as much as we possibly can cover with the budget. I may need a specific number from Bonnie, like I need a definite ballpark, because I don't want him to go over by 10,000 and then we have, a problem. I need a good number.
You have a bank account, don't you?
Oh, I can swipe.
Let's cover
Yeah,
it.
A good number for what?
for the chip seal, streets.
Like how much he has.
Yeah, how much I have to spend.
Okay.
Well, and Josh,
It's-
we're gonna do it
it's-
together.
But
So you pay half of
Guys
it.
need to do something.
can we use that grant?
He wants to know
Or is that
how
on
much money he has.
Yeah, I know we have the grant, I'm just saying what's in the streets budget, plus chip sealing and plus the grant, I just need a solid skin number so that we don't overshoot is what I.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
we can pave the whole entire town, and they're just gonna keep saying, yeah, let's do this, we don't stop them.
Yes, okay.
So that way I can prioritize which roads
Are
are the
more
most
important.
important. Right now, it's the ups and downs, with the school
Don't
buses
we already
go.
have, yeah, we already have one.
We have our transportation plan to go off of, but, I mean, Hallett is a priority, yes, Hallett, and we may have to do more work on Hallett than just chip seal.
And we should pave, Meadow Drive. Cause I'm sick of eating dust.
Didn't we do
Anyway,
dust abatement this year?
Yeah, we did. It's still, it don't do a lot, but.
Then the only other thing was the sprinkler system, the breaker blew, which it's been going bad for a long time. And so I called the electrician today to put a new breaker in, and I think it's fixed. He called while I was here, and so it should be good for a
oh,
while.
I hope so.
Yeah.
You're starting to turn
It's,
around.
I hand watered this morning.
Yeah.
I think that's all I have.
If you need some help with getting the rates from inland northwest, I can help you out with that. I have some
Oh, okay.
contacts up there. And when you get the slip tank and stuff, I can let you know. I talked to a Coleman and we can figure that,
You want me to go ahead and just get a slip tank and get that pump and get it down here and put in the,
Well, we approved it.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you guys, and if you need, because you said that Amanda talked to you about the box, roll-up
She was
box.
gonna have a guy call me, the expert, and so I was gone last week, but, I'm hoping to get in touch with them right away, because I really need to haul
Okay,
sludge.
so if you need to reach out to her again, or I can call up there, and like I said, I know a few people still work up there, so if there's any help that I can give you, any resources or
Okay.
whatever.
I may actually have you
Yeah, that's all I got.
I don't have anything, Mayor.
Okay, Rick.
Okay. I have some stuff from Stillman, who happens to be sitting right over there, and you can ask him questions. So the first email that he sent me was about our sewer collection study, which we received $37,500 for half of that, or thereabouts, from DEQ. And we were hoping to get the other half from USDA. And they will not be able to fund that for us, so we'll have to come up with the remainder of that. We have some options. We can use our ARPA money to fund the remainder. We didn't get that first, what do they call that, a tranche? That first chunk that they gave us, $64,636, that we haven't spent any of yet. So we could take the $37,500 out of that and fund the rest of this collection study. We could also pay it with other city funds, which I don't know if we have that in our sewer utility budget, or we can give the money back to DEQ and tell them thanks but no thanks. So we obviously can't make any sort of decision on that. When do they have to know about that, Stillman?
You have already done everything you needed to secure the DEQ money.
Yeah,
And so,
whenever.
yeah,
Okay.
when you're ready.
I can put that on August agenda if you like. And the second is some pretty good stuff. So I asked Stillman for a summary of funding for our wastewater treatment plant project. And I will read from it. The approximate value of the total wastewater treatment project, including design and construction phase, engineering, inspection, administration, legal, interim interest, and construction, is about $6,914,904. This does not include the planning phase. Funding was applied for and received from the following sources. DEQ ARPA funds is a grant for $1,700,000. I'll give you a minute to write down all those zeros. U.S. Army Corps Section 595 grant is $1,250,000. Idaho Department of Commerce CDBG grant is $500,000. DEQ principal forgiveness is $542,491. USDA Rural Development Loan is $750,000. It's a 40-year loan at 1.5% interest. And USDA Rural Development Grant is $2,172,413. So this breaks down to a project funded with about 89% grant funds and 11% loan funds. So, still minority.
Yeah, this was an awesome result, very awesome result, so.
I was your biggest critic. I was your biggest critic.
But not anymore.
No.
So, our first loan payment won't be due until about a year after construction wraps, so probably around 2025, since construction will wrap up sometime in 2024, hopefully. Our annual payment will be about $25,070.33, which equates to about $7 per user per month. That's assuming 301 users. That number could change. USDRD does require that we set up other reserves in our wastewater utilities, such as a 10% payment reserve, which is roughly $2,507 per year. A short-lived assets reserve, roughly $40,300 per year, and I emailed all this to you guys too, so. And that will result in an additional rate of about $12 per user per month. The short-lived assets reserve will give the city a fund to replace equipment and material that will likely need replacing within the next 5 to 15 years. So we have to maintain those throughout the life of our loan?
Technically, USDA would like you to, in perpetuity, have reserves like this because it's wise. Basically, it's a savings account to replace assets that tend to go out within the first 5 to 15 years. It helps pay for chemicals, it helps pay for, a number of things that you may not currently have in the budget. And so usually small communities, what they do is they operate a plant as long as they can and as well as they can with the budget limitations they have, and then they have to do a large project. If you have a reserve like this, it can help preserve it for even longer. And you've got a fund there to help pay for the things that, like, if Justin has a pump go out, he's got some money there to help pay for that, things like that. So I don't know that USDA necessarily is going to police it. But it is written into your contract with them that you should set up those reserves so that you have that money set aside for those needs.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So the $7 per user per month, so we're not paying the $60 a month we were talking about, or we are, and then we're gonna pay potentially $20 on top of that for USDA reserves, or am I way off?
Yeah, so I haven't had the chance to do the full calculation to see what the total user rate would be, because I also need to check with Wendy and Tony on some numbers, on number of users and things like that, but I at least wanted to give her an idea of, well, about this much user rate is needed to pay your annual loan payment, about this much would be needed to establish those reserves, so.
But it's not locked in at 60 necessarily.
No, I don't know exactly what it would be at. Isn't your rate currently about $30?
37.
37 now, okay, so you've been climbing that up. And so, yeah, I think just at a first glance, I think you're gonna be somewhere around 55 by the time you add all of these up. It could have been much, much worse, had we not had such a great response from the funding agencies. The other good news about this is instead of doing your project in 2 phases, you get to do it in 1 phase, which also keeps the cost down, and you don't have to stretch this project out over 6 years. You can get it done in 1 shot.
One more question since we're asking, since we're talking about it. Is there a possibility that the prices could go up if the cost of construction or so forth goes up? So could it still go up?
Yeah, there's some contingency built into this budget, and so hopefully that's enough to cover the increases in prices, but absolutely.
Okay.
Pricing goes up every day, so.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's something that we'll work with you guys as we continue through the design phase. Right now, we're in the preliminary design phase. We don't yet have a preliminary design phase cost estimate. We still have cost estimate numbers from the planning phase, but we'll be doing a new cost estimate here in the next month and a half or so.
Okay.
So, and we can still make decisions about, ways to save money to stay under budget.
Oh, great.
I got nothing.
That's a first.
We're all-
Report that.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Aye.